it's almost like we're trained to think we need to deal with adversity. So I'm wondering if we were pre-programmed to deal with that anyway, and because we're trained to think that way, that when adversity happens for many of us, especially in something we care about, it sends us sideways. Because the truth is, I'm a dad, and our house is romper room at any given moment with cousins and nephews and things like that. I'm not certain that all the babies that are learning to walk just got right up and walked. They fell and just adjusted, right? Little champions. They just adjusted and somehow figured it out. Neurons connected, boom, now they can walk. And then over time, right?
No one interviewed them.
No, right. Over time. But it's funny because I work with these athletes and, in many cases, especially the younger ones, it's almost like where the training is lacking is how to deal with their success. Because I think inherently we all recognize, maybe we don't know, but inherently we all recognize that we may not get it right the first time. We may not succeed the first time, right? It may be hard. It may not be easy. Not everyone's getting into Harvard, right? There's requirements, et cetera, et cetera. It's once you're there. What is that like? It's what do you do once you have everything you thought you wanted? What's next? And more importantly, what if that happens at 20 or 18? That's why these actors and musicians blow out. That's why Justin Bieber is a freaking mess. That's why Miley Cyrus is shaking her ass and, on TV with grown men. It's a shame, but what do you do with all that, right? Like, you're young and you have this talent and you're rewarded for it. And so you keep doing it until you're just not so young anymore and you're not rewarded the same way. And so now it's different because you keep doing the same thing. But now it's kind of expected of you because you're 20 or you're 25. And so it's almost like there's this inverse, let's see if I can get it right. There's this inverse reward thing, and then where those points meet, at some point the reward's not enough for the same thing you used to do. Right? So Justin Bieber's an extreme example. But again, not dealing with his success very well. I'm sure he's thought he was enjoying it, or he is enjoying it, but that's how we spin out. Right? And that's a huge level and a big stage of spin out. But I think many of us do that in our own lives, in our own microcosms, if you will, of life. Where, we kind of accept that things will be hard or tough. And so, to some degree, as much as we don't like it or it doesn't feel good, we're somewhat prepared for that. It's when we get to that stage of success or when we get those things that we want, right? Good problem to have, being there, having achieved it. But then it's like, are we someone different? Do we want more? Is there guilt around that stuff? Is there shame around that stuff? Right? Well, I was only just doing what I always did. And those people over there, man, they really have it rough. So managing that success is just as much of a responsibility as managing our perceived failures.